Okay, this is Aaron again with Exalted Lamb 1, and I have my, latest video that I shoehorned into one day. Basically yesterday, I did a little bit this morning, but man, I am excited. The timing on this for the USS Gerald Ford going into basically the Middle East, that area over there, up in that area over there. Anyway, today actually, it's supposed to be arriving today, according to several sources. So, and the timing couldn't be perfect for this. So, without further ado, let's go right into it. I am the Exalted Lamb 1 with the number 1 on YouTube, and I just have it spelled out ONE here, of course. And then just Exalted Lamb 1 on Telegram. And my motto is always having no part in the worthless deeds of darkness, but instead exposing them. Ephesians 5:11. As my commission is by Jesus, my master, my Lord, my friend, my best friend, to warn of what's coming and the horrible calamities that are coming to the United States, Mystery Babylon. And I was told this over 10 years ago with dreams and visions, and the Lord told me that United States is Mystery Babylon, which kind of surprised me. And then he said also with that little message, in that one particular message, he said that Stinky B.O., the 44th Pres, Barack Insane Obama, is the Antichrist. And he is going to be coming back into power after he's president as the Antichrist. So that's crazy. And that's what it shows in iPad Goat, actually. If you know what iPad Goat is, iPad Goat 2. It's the only version. There's no 1, 3, 4, anything like that, done by Heliofont. And it shows him graduating with a graduation cap with the tassel behind him. And then it graduates and it goes to the front of him. Goes from president to Antichrist. And anyway, there's a lot of things there. So I'm going to be touching on that as well. iPad Goat again, which is really important because it is the playbook, or it's the kind of the structure which all mass media is kind of adhering to, this basic idea of the revealing of the Antichrist through these different events and things that are in a timeline, and that's shown in iPad Goat. So I want to also cover predictive programming again. This is my definition: is a subtle form of psychological conditioning woven into the fabric of all mass media, designed to subconsciously program and or consciously acquaint the public with pre-planned societal changes, ideas, or events. And I'm going to also add in there culminating to basically the takedown and destruction, ultimate destruction of Mystery Babylon America. Okay, these changes, ideas, or events eventually become reality, largely because the public over time has already become programmed and are familiarized with them, accepting them as natural progressions, thus eliminating virtually all possible public resistance, commotion, or investigation. And ultimately, it's about the birth of the Antichrist, as iPad Goat shows. It shows the Antichrist being birthed out of a cave and then out to the world at the very end on the abode of Anubis, coming back to life to be reborn. And that's what it shows. If you didn't know that, sorry, but that's what it shows. So then it's all about hiding all these details. iPad Go 2 is a complex timeline puzzle, like all these, high-end puzzles you might do that are visual puzzles. And that's what this is. That's what iPad Go 2 is. It's a combination of all kinds. Each scene, combination of different complex puzzles that have to do with visuals and numerology, gematria, and all that stuff, all slammed into one thing. And they do hide the details of which they're going to show the future. They're going to play out the future, and it shows the future ahead of time, which I've shown. And iPad Goat has over 60 things I've shown, maybe close to 70 now, that have happened already, that are shown in iPad Goat ahead of time, because it's all been pre-planned. It's pre-planned. It's not prophecy. It's just pre-planned stuff with, people that are bought and sold in the background, and the way they do things in the background without people knowing how they basically control the mass media and everything else. Demons in people and in the elite that are ultimately controlling everything. So if you didn't know that, you need to know that everything that is just the wool pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth, like Morpheus said in Matrix. So anyway, everything's about opposites to hide things, backwards, upside down, and backwards, all that stuff. Okay, and then also want to mention again the rule of Kalel, which I've done many times. The Kabbalistic rule of Kalel states that one digit can be added to or subtracted from the gematria value of a word without affecting its value. This seems to modern ears to be a cheat. However, the Kabbalists or Kabbalists explain the rule by pointing out for them one is not a number. The monad symbolizes the divinity and could come and go as he please, adding nothing and taking nothing away. We're talking about Lucifer or Satan. The light of Lucifer is really the great architect or grand architect, however, whatever you want to call it, the G in the middle of the compass and the square right there. Okay, right there. Okay, and then Shakespeare referred to this concept in his sonnets when he writes, among a number one is reckoned none. And, he's also said all the world's a stage, and then we're all, it's all acting. And that's why they called, on the subject of the coming war, they call it the theater of war. The Gerald Ford dead today at 84, as Dana Carvey said on SNL, and Saturday Night Live, and that's actually playing out. Gerald Ford is about to die, and it's going to start something on 8/4. They literally said on at 84, 8 plus 4 is 12, and 12 is made up of 2 and 10. It's going to begin on 2/10 on the Julian calendar. You're going to see anyway. So this is all pre-planned. What's coming? The theater of war over there in the Middle East, and all the things that are going on with these aircraft carriers and their strike groups and everything, and all the massive buildup of like 1/3 of the Navy over there and all this stuff. Okay, it's all program stuff. And by the way, 1/3 is 1st of March, the death of the Antichrist. When they say 1/3 of the military, they're using 1st of March, the death of the Antichrist, and the death. That's the death of Obama and Trump in 2 different locations, New York and Hawaii, and it's also the death of the Abraham Lincoln and the Gerald R. Ford. Okay, Gerald Ford dead today at 84. Dana Carvey played Tom Brokaw on SNL years ago. And you should, if you get a second, look at Gerald R. Ford's death day. It was exactly a version of this death day, and the year was 2006 or 26 this year. It's just so crazy, this stuff. And then, so this is what's ultimately I've been covering for years, as this is showing Super Bowl 59, but the last one was 60. But even every Super Bowl I've been covering for the last few years, and showing how when I discovered that in the woman's head and her arm is the Lombardi Trophy, and in her head is Valentine's Day VD, and it's also the 45th day of the year, and then all kinds of stuff in here. It's all about the timeline of roughly around Valentine's Day being the first attack day, before and after, basically. But that's on the Julian calendar, and I'm going to show that in this video. It's so crazy. I think we're finally here, hopefully. Oh my goodness, this is insane. So, and then basically it was 2 timelines ago, 2 videos ago, that is what I thought was on the Gregorian, but it's really on the Julian. It looks like it's going to be, because it's going to play out now that we have the theater of war stage set. Okay, again, Gerald R. Ford, USS Gerald R. Ford is supposed to be entering there right now, today. That's what I've been told by several sources that should be on it. And then, so the next day, Sunday, is when it should start, which is 222 and 223. Now, there's so much to all these, but this ends up being the pre-day and the first day, and I'm going to show you how that is, okay? But this was my last timeline, and the timeline before that is what it really is, but on the Julian. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Okay, but ultimately, we're in between these 2. That's why on these characters, we have this annular eclipse on their cheeks, all their cheeks, and they have unusually rosy cheeks, including Obama doesn't have rosy cheeks like that. Unusually rosy cheeks, because that is the blood moon. So the death of the Antichrist, the so-called births, as I've been sharing, and then the death of the Antichrist is right in between here. And that's what this is showing on iPad Goat. Annular eclipse mixed with a blood moon or lunar eclipse. Okay? That's what this is showing. Okay, I'm just saying. Okay, and then same thing. This represents his death because he's got a crown of. It's actually, of course, with Jesus, the real Savior, it was a crown of thorns. But this is a crown of barbed wire, and barbed wire equals this time. I've shared this in the past recently, And then, but this is a blood moon. His hair's reddish. That's why his hair's reddish. It's not for any other reason to hide all this stuff. And then you have this yellow or goldish barbed wire, which is the annular eclipse. Again, look at that. And then this is the blood moon mixed with the annular eclipse. And this is based on his death. He is on the boat of Anubis, in the underworld per se, because Anubis is the god of the underworld. And then because had the Anubis's head on the boat, in the front of the boat here, and it's also, you call it the river Styx and different mythologies and all that. And this is before he comes back to life. So he's dead right now, going down the river. Okay, don't pay the ferryman until he gets you to the other side. Anyway, so he's on the ferry without a ferryman, because he's his own ferryman, because he's the Antichrist. Anyway. And he's supposed to be a godlike figure with Anubis carrying him. He's in the boat of Anubis. Anyway, so, that's what this is showing, I believe. It's massive evidence pointing to all this. So then we get back to my ultimate code breaker, which some of the key things on that are 4 is hiding 9, and 9 is hiding 4, or upside down. 4 is hiding upside down and backwards 9, which is 6. See how 4 is a 6, but it's hiding. And some fonts show it more. Like I use this example of a font to show it more than others. And then 0 is hiding O. That's why we say like English 101 instead of 101. It should be 101. I say 101 usually. And I kept myself from saying O instead of 0, but most people say that because it's a little quicker to say O than 0. It's a little quicker and easier, I guess. And it's just also been programmed to everything you watch and everything, they're saying O instead of 0, Anyway, so 0 is hiding O. 0 could just be 0, or can hide O, and O's 15th letter of the alphabet, or 1 plus 5 is 6. And then this is this is our numbers, 1 through 9 and 0. And upside down and backwards, 1 is 1, 2 is 2, 3 is E, 4 is really 6, 5 is still 5, 6 is 9, as most people know. 7 is hiding L, as shown in iPad Goat on the floor is an L, but it's really a 7, upside down and backwards from Obama's point of view. And 8 is an 8, 9 is upside down and backwards is a 6, and O is an O, or 0 is a 0, or 0 could be an O, but it looks the same. Okay, and that's key in this. So the Lord had me day before yesterday, when the first day was not happening, and I'm like, what the heck's going on? All this stuff was lining up for so many things, of course, as it does, because the numerology is the same. You have a lot of similarities with 1 through 14 being the timeline, and just trying to figure out what that actually is. And so going back to this, I ran in English ordinal, and I have this color-coded, and then in reverse English above, how I is 18, R is 9, A is 26, and N is 13 in reverse English. And down here in English ordinal, of course, I is the 9th letter of the alphabet, R is 18, A is the first letter, N is 14. And then I have it color-coded, turn upside down and backwards. And then right here, this is what I've shared in the past. But these are actual events. And so there's more events playing out in this numerology, but this is already played out. And I'm going to share this again, how I did a few videos ago, and how this is all playing out even still, ultimately to what's coming up here tomorrow, I believe. And we'll see if this proves out, but so far it has been. So, for example, 1/14/26, what happened? Well, Trump feels obligated to take action on Iran as administration weighs risk of whatever, okay? And he says here, help is on the way, dear, help is on the way. A lot of people don't know he's Mrs. Doubtfire, but I'm not getting into all that. As he has many things. He's the Highlander, he's the Cloud, the Clan MacLeod. His mother was Mary MacLeod. He is the Highlander. He is all the subjects. He's so many people and so many different subjects of movies and stuff, because he's the one that's going to take down America because of revenge and all kinds of stuff. That's in all kinds of movies, with John coming back and other characters with other names coming back for revenge when their wife and their child is killed, or some version of that, or their wife's taken hostage like John McClane, or their wife dies and their dog is killed, and that's John Wick, or there's daughters kidnapped, and that's John Matrix from Commando. I mean, it goes and goes, and there's many other names of other characters than just John, but he's Donald John Trump, and all these other Johns that come back for revenge, and other people with other names as well. But I'm just giving you a few Johns, for example, because Donald John Trump, his family, because of what he's going to do pretty soon with Iran, they're going to retaliate with an Iran-backed terrorist group that's going to kill his wife and his son, Melania and Barron, very soon. It looks like in predictive programming. That's how I'm just reading in the predictive programming in tons of movies and TV and all kinds of stuff, okay? And we'll see. Okay, but 123 right here, as you see, 1 is 1, and then 9 plus 6 plus 8 is 23. You have 2 down, bring the 2 down here, and then 3 upside down backwards becomes an E. E is 5th letter of the alphabet. 5 and 1 is 6. See how this works? And you just do it that way. This direction right up here. 1 is 1. This is 4 upside down and backwards is a 6. See? 6 and 8 is 14. 1 and 1 is 2. And 6 up there. So, and then what happened on 123, 26? Well, Trump sends USS Abraham Lincoln carrier group to Middle East. By the way, this is a big news story at this time. And by the way, 141 in English gematria is World War III. There's so much stuff in everything. It's just insane how much stuff is in every single thing. And then what actually happened? Well, you can actually add 1 to 14, and you have the 15th day of year 26 or 2026, and that's January 15th. You don't even have to have the 1, because the 15th day of 26, see how that works, is when actually the USS Abraham Lincoln strike group began its movement towards the Middle East, because it was called out on the 14th. And there's the 14th right there, the 14th. Okay, it was called out on the 14th. Oops, sorry, let me go backwards here. Sorry. It's called out on the 14th, but then it actually started leaving on the 15th, okay? And that's right there, 14th and then 15th, okay? So also we have, if you color code these differently, 1 and 1 is 2 and 4. See, you can see there's not a lot. If we're talking about 2026, then you can't do a whole lot with these other numbers. So this will give you a ton of options, but it gives you some options of different things. The same thing down here. If you have this year 26, you have 1, 2, and 3 to deal with, or whatever these add up to down here. I mean, you can do a few more things, sure, but this really flows incredibly well. So you have the option here of 114, 26, and 123, 26, also being 2, 4, 26, top and bottom, which is crazy. That's really confirmation. But it's not 2, 4. I believe it's hiding another layer. 2 and then 4 is made up of, which they do all the time. They compress or decompress numbers, they call it. The elite do. And they've said this, different people have said this at different times that I've shown on video and things like that. So 4 decompress into 2 plus 2. So that is tomorrow, Sunday the 22nd. Okay, so that's when I believe it's going to begin, and then reported by the 23rd. Okay, so see how 2, 4 is 2, 2. Okay, so 2, 4 is also, remember I said earlier, 4 is hiding 9. So 2, 4 is also 2, 9. So if 2, 4 is 22 plus 2, and 2, 4 is also 2, 9, what does that mean? Well, look at this. On the Julian, the pre-day, which is about to happen, could be tomorrow, is the 222 on the Gregorian, which tomorrow, the Sunday, the 22nd, is also 2-9 on the Julian. Same day tomorrow. And that's massive. Okay, so let's keep going here. All right. I was going to show you this here as well. So the 7th day of the timeline on the Gregorian is March 1st. Like I said, 1/3 of the military is over there, they keep saying. 1/3 of the military, because 3/1 is the death of the Antichrist. Okay, and by the way, March 1st is the first day of the new year for the Roman calendar, because March is the first day of the Roman calendar, but on the Gregorian it's the 3rd. That's why, when you go September, October, November, December, September we call 9, the 9th month, but September equals in Latin 7. And then October is really 8, because octo is like octagon and anything that has to do with 8, but we call it the 10th month. It makes no sense. When we get all the way to December is Decem, which is 10, but we call it the 12th month. It's because it's hiding what it really is on what it's saying. September, October, November, December, it's saying 7, 8, 9, 10, and then January is 11, and February the god Janus, and February is the basically the fire, the cleansing of the old. February is the 12th month, cleansing of the old, going into the brand new age. Okay, and the reason why I show 229 is because on a leap year, 3/1, the first day of the new age hasn't quite gone there on our calendar on the Gregorian. It's 229 on the leap year, the 60th day of the year, as in Super Bowl 60. That's why it was Super Bowl 60. I'm telling you, this is crazy. Super Bowl 60 is 229, and then right here we have down here. Watch this. Then we have 68. Okay, the 68th day of the year. So this is actually the death of the Antichrist and Trump on 3/1, which on a leap year is 229. Okay, and then the death of the United States. This is the nukes going off here on the 14th, and then the post day here, 6th and 7th day, but the 8th day, sorry, 6th and 7th day, 67th day and 68th day, but 68th is the last day. Completely death of the United States, death of the Antichrist, because that's who it is. Barack Obama, 68 right there, and 229. See how it's hiding that? Death of the Antichrist and that. And then even his name in English Sumerian in reverse, which is this times 6, 408 is 408, 448. And there's 48 right there, 48, the 48th day of the year. And it just happens to complement the 7th day here when he dies, and he's reported dead on the 8th day, which is 217, and that was the numerology of the eclipse back on 217, which is 48. He was also born on 4th of August. So his birthday is his death day, 4th of August, or 48 in a sense. This is crazy stuff, okay? And then right here we have 1 and then 374, which is with the rule of Kalel, we're just going to take the 1 away, and then we have 3, 7 plus 4 is 11. 311, or 1, or keep the 1, and 1 from 3, 7 plus 4 is 11. 1 from 311 is 310. And we have 311 and 310, the days left over in the year. And look, we have the day of the year over here, and the days left over, as in, again, death of the Antichrist, actual death, reported death, Gregorian, Julian, right here, okay, and then right here, the death of the United States, 68, and then 311 and 310. And then there's also another 310 and a 311 right here. Look at that. The March 10th and March 11th, 310, 311, 310, 311 days left over in the year. Boom, 310, 311. Why is that important? Why is 310 and 311 important? Because Revelation 3:10 and 11 says, because you have kept my words and patiently endured, I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming on the whole world to try those who dwell on the earth. I am coming soon. Hold fast what you have. Hold fast what you have, so whatever. That's so somebody's Old English anyway. Kind of hold fast what you have, so that no one may seize your crown. I don't have a hard time reading that, but it just didn't kind of go right for me for some reason. Okay, hold fast what you have. So no, maybe I maybe I missed a word. I don't think so, because I copied it, put it in there. Anyway, hold fast to what you have, so that no one may seize your crown. Is probably what it should say. Anyway, I think that's ESV or something like that. Anyway, the Old English it doesn't flow very well with this one for some reason, even though I go by some of the other things sometimes. Anyway, but that just has to do with, because you have kept my words and patiently endured, I will keep you from the hour of trial that is coming to the whole world. And it just happens to be right here, 3:10, 3:11 it begins the hour of trial, and then this is the beginning of the tribulation. As tribulation begins, is the beginning of the trial, and this is right before. This is when the United States is destroyed, and this is going into the trial, and these both have to do with the trial starting, and then this has to do with the trial. The tribulation, it means trial, or man, it's crazy. So hopefully that makes sense. Okay, going back to this. Okay, 2-4, like I said, 2-4 is 2. Also 2-4 26 is also 4 plus 2 plus 6, because I'm color coding these. So 4 plus 2 plus 6 is 212. That's Abraham Lincoln's birthday. And we happen to have an Abraham Lincoln over there, USS Abraham Lincoln. No, and this is on the Julian. So when you add 13 days to this to get to the Gregorian, it's 225. But this day, 212, Abraham Lincoln's birthday, is the 43rd day of the year with 322 days left. 322 Skull and Bones, 43rd President George W. Bush, and morphs into Obama, the 4th president. The 43rd day, 212 morphs into 213, the 44th day, the 44th president, with 321 days left over. And then those are ultimately 225 and 226. So 212 and 213, the 43rd, Obama, like I said in a couple of videos ago, that's why George W. Bush in iPad goes morphing into Obama, because these 2 days are the first attack days of the United States. 43rd day morphing into 44th day, or 43rd president morphing into 44th president. But that's really on the Gregorian. Again, another level of hiding it. They're not going to show the numerology so succinct here because it's hiding it. You add 13 days of this and you get 225, and then ultimately the Antichrist and Trumbull and the USS Abraham Lincoln and the Gerald Ford are killed on 226 2026, 226 226, or 4 sixes 4 sixes. 2 plus 2 is 4, 4 sixes 4 sixes. Crazy stuff. Okay, and then also 212 is 2 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. Okay, and what happened on 2 3? Oh, February 23rd, tensions peaked in the Strait of Hormuz as Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, gunboats tried to seize a U.S. flag tanker while a U.S. F-35 shot down an Iranian drone approaching the USS Abraham Lincoln, blah, 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 blah. Okay, and then it was reported on 2/4. So this happened on February 3rd, and like I've said many, many times in the past, hundreds of times probably in the past, everything is a 2-day thing. You have the event day, and then you have the reporting day. So see how this was 2/3, and then it's also 2/4, like this, 2/4/26, because this was the event day, and then on February 4th, a lot of news outlets reported on it, on this event here on the 4th. There it is. See, it's all in the programming. I'm just want to show you this example, but there's all kinds of words out there, all kinds of countries, the United States, and all kinds of stuff, and I'm about to show you that soon here in a minute. So, okay, and again, 2/4 is hiding 222. Okay, and so that's Orange Man Bad. Orange Man Bad. Remember, I don't know if you ever saw this in the campaign. Some people are on the other side of Trumbull saying Orange Man Bad. Orange Man Bad. Okay, his campaign back in 2020. People against him saying Orange Man Bad. And then the other side saying, oh, Orange Man Good. Orange Man Good. All kinds of examples of that. Because it's ultimately moved by demons and is put in front of people because they don't realize what it's really saying in Gematria and what it's trying to say. Okay, so Orange Man Bad in reverse is 229. Remember, stinky Barack Obama is 229 in reverse ordinal, because that is the February 29th. That is hiding. That's the the leap year day that is added on in a leap year to after 228. So it extends February another day. And then why? Again, I've shared this for years. Why would February be extended and not January or any other day? And why does February only have 28 days and you can just add one? Why not make February 30 days and then make less, a couple months, 30 days instead of 31 days? It makes no sense, logical sense whatsoever. I've heard some of the reasoning. It's such BS. Barbara Streisand, Barry Soetoro, and Bruce Springsteen. BS. By the way, BS, Barry Soetoro, is 219 or 210. 1 plus 9, 210, right here. BS, Barry Soetoro. Anyway, hopefully that makes sense. And so Orange Man Bad. So Orange Man, something bad's going to happen to him. Orange Man Bad. Something bad's going to happen. He's going to die on this day, which normally, which this would be the date of the leap year, but no, it's March 1st, the 60th day of the year. 60th day of the year is March 1st, or on a leap year, 60th day of the year is February 29th. Hope that makes sense. Now, Orange Man Good. Orange Man Good, because Orange Man Good, because he went over to the Middle East and helped Iranian people and stop Israel from getting, attacked more from the terrorist-funded country, the country that funds terrorism and does all this stuff. So Orange Man Good. Orange Man good. He's sending our military that's good for the world. So, because he wants to he wants to, drop the peaceful bombs. Drop the peaceful bombs. Anyway, he says he's all peaceful, and then he just dropped a bomb the next day. when we first bombed Iran, a few months ago, the peaceful bombs. Anyway, so Orange Man good. So he brings the stuff, and that's 2-9. Again, rule of claw, you could take one away, and you got 2-9. Oh, look, 2-9. Oh, we got 2-2-2. Oh, we got 2-2-2. When this is going to start happening, I believe. So they're going to start attacking Iran on this day, Sunday, tomorrow, because today is for me right now. It's Saturday, the 21st. And then probably report on the 23rd. Okay, or go backwards on this. 9th of February plus 1 is 210, or share this 1 over here, because these work together. And sometimes they're month, day, and year, and sometimes they just work together. Like these are just 2 days, consecutive days, or 2 days, same days on 2 different calendars, whatever. Or you add this 1 to 222, and you get 223. Okay, anyway, that's all there. This is all coincidence? I think not. And then look, Orange Man. This is when he wasn't orange at all. This is when he's light orange. This is when he's medium orange. This is, whoa, calm down there, dude. And you can see the orange. You can see his real skin color right there. And you can see the orange. And he does it not because he wants to, because people identify with that, and they call him that because it's all programming. This is all planned. None of this is organic. This is all planned. He does it for a reason. He's Orange Man. That's it. He's Orange Man. Because there's Orange Man right here in iPad Goat. Okay, this is him. Okay, boom. Is that not him? Orange Man. We already know he's Orange Man. I'm proving it here. And then there's his hair. Is that not his hair? I mean, I'm nailing it. Sorry, but it's just nailed. I found this years ago. This is nailed. And then this is Scorpius right here, and the sun. This is depicting the sun in his claw. If you were to see his claw, it would go down like that, and the claw would come like that. It's like a sideways, more of a sideways depiction of it, but the sun is in the Scorpius claw. And I just know from a few other sort of things also in iPad Go and showing some things I'm not going to get into right now. But that event right here happens every year on 11/23. And so some people think, oh, it'll be right around this time that this is about and everything. Or what, maybe you think it's 11, some other date that's where the sun's close around this. No, it's just numerology. Just like 217 isn't really the date. It's symbol. They use the numerology of the event to hide the symbolism of what's going to happen and all that stuff. So 217 is really 217 on the Julian, and that's the reported death date of him and the Antichrist, Barack Hussein Obama. Okay, Mr. Stinky B.O. Stinky B.O. Barack Obama. Anyway, okay. So, but what's 11/23? They're harvesting the numerology from these events. Or, for example, this is the Super Bowl, and the Super Bowl was on 2/8 or 1+7. Super Bowl was on 2/8 because the Antichrist is going to die on 2/17, but not on what we know, most people know, on the Julian calendar. It represents an ominous day. The death of the Antichrist, reported death of the Antichrist, and actually Trump will too. So you add 13 days to that, and you literally get March 2nd. Okay, and that's the reported death day of Stinky B.O. and Trumple. Okay, March 1st is when it actually happens, which is 229 on the other on a leap year. And then, but March 3rd or March 2nd is when it's reported, which would be 217 on the Julian. So 1123 or November 23rd is 1 + 1 is 223, the first day on the on the Gregorian. So this is just simple. They're harvesting the numerology from these events. This is an event, the sun in the Scorpion's claw, which happens every year roughly around this day, 11/23. And years ago, I thought this was probably maybe the end of the timeline, because the 23rd is not only the first day, but it's also the last day. And I'm going to show you how 2/23 is the first day and the last day of the timeline. It's crazy. And that's why they get the idea of time travel. Because if one day is the first day and the last day, you're kind of traveling in time or something. It's weird. That's why this stuff's shown in secretly shown in Back to the Future and all kinds of stuff about time travel. But there's nobody really time traveling, not really. It's just all figurative and everything for what's coming and how and all this stuff. So, and then this arrow is pointing to this on his head, on Orange Man's head, is the eagle, because it's not only him but him as the head of with the eagle. So that's him and the United States, Donald Trump and the United States, because that's an eagle. See, the eagle head with the wings is part of his head. Okay, he's the Orange Man, and then it's an eagle head. It's some action on this day, and the numerology is right here, upside down and backwards. I'm going to show you in a second here. So this is you'll see just like God does in the Bible, the enemy does this, shows the end from the beginning from the end, or the end from the beginning, whatever. But this is the end of iPad Goat. This, right as this thing coming out right out of the center here, it's about to fade out to black. But I noticed something. I was like, this is actually the center. Why is this not in the center? It's offset because this is the center. And I know there's numbers here. I can see them right here. I mean, you can see the 2s right here, the 3, the 6 right here, all kinds of stuff. Now watch, this is what this is. Finally got this. I finally figured this out. I've seen versions of this I've figured out, but this is really what it is. I'm pretty sure. So again, opposites. So you have opposites. So you're seeing the beginning from the end. You're seeing the beginning from the end. So that's opposite. Okay, and you're also seeing this. Remember this upside down and backwards, opposites and upside down and backwards. So if you take this upside down and backwards, watch, do this, boom. What we're looking at here, right here on this side, is 2 different dates. We have, I'm going to show you here. Look, we have, and that's also again when Orange Man and the United States, or Orange Man, the United States. Okay, Orange Man and the United States basically have an action on these days, which is 2, 2, 2, and 2, 2, 3. This connects as a 3 here. Okay, it's crazy. Okay, wait, before I do that. So it's 2, 2, 2. Hopefully you see that. A red 2, a yellow 2, and a purple 2 is 2, or you do it this way, 2, 22. 222 and 223. 222, 223 just happen to be, or 222 just happens to be 2, 9. 2, 9 on the Julian, the pre-day, is 222 on the Gregorian, plus 1 would be the first day, 223 when it's reported, because Trump and the United States are doing some kind of action, which is Iran, this whole thing, I'm telling you. And then if you take, again, I said he's Orange Man and the United States, because it's orange, it's his hair, he's Orange Man. And the United States is 2, 4 plus 5 is 9, 2, 9, and 2, 2, 2, or 2, 2, 3. 2, 2, 3 backwards. 2, 9 hiding because you just have a 4 and a 5 here, but 2, 4 plus 5 is 9, 2, 9, and then backwards 2, 2, 3, 2, 2, 3, because right here that connects. So hopefully you can see the 2, 2 there. Hopefully you can see that. But then right off the 2, this one is a 3, and then right here is a clear 2 right here, just right there, clear 2. So they're blended in together. But I see their differentiation there. Okay, I do. Hopefully you do too. And then also you have another thing. After this happens, they're going to retaliate, like I said, because I've seen it in so much predictive programming and numerology. Iran's going to retaliate with attacking his family, I believe, and that's going to be a 9/11 type attack. That's why they're showing it this way. Instead of, they're not showing a 2 again, they're showing a 1 and a 1, which ends up being 2. But you see how this is 9? See how this is 9 and 11? This is also something too, which I'm going to get into right now. Anyway, but this is going this way, okay? And then 2, 2, and then 3 plus 2 is 25. So on the 25th, the third day, is what I've said for years, that Melania and Barron were going to be attacked, and some other things are going to happen. Big things happen on this day, the third day. The first attack day, and It's the third and fourth and fifth day are the big attack days. It's really crazy. So let's kick off everything. Okay, boom. Okay, then we're gonna do this. Okay, that's another upside down and backwards mirror of the sun. Okay, but then I did it like this because I'm like, this is the center point, and so I did this because I was seeing something, and I'm like, wait, let me adjust this. I'm seeing something. Oh my gosh, let me adjust it like that. Oh my goodness, I can't believe what, Lord, what you showed me. It's that. It's a 2. That's a backwards S. And I knew what I was seeing when I saw I knew what this is also a version of a yin and yang. See the white and dark and dark. This is also like a two-headed, like snake slash something else. I'm not gonna get into all that right now, but okay. So what is this? I know this is in the beginning. So this is at the end when the Antichrist is introduced to the world. Okay, but this is also at the beginning when Draco, who is the Satan character, okay, is manipulating George Bush with who is his marionette, his puppet, and he's got that. See that? See that? This is a 2 or an S backwards on the end of iPad Goat, pointing to the beginning, and we have an S on the beginning, which is a backwards 2. Hopefully that makes sense. It's backwards. That's crazy. Okay, so let me just blow up this hand here. So we have S. Okay, it's a gold ring. It's a gold S snake ring. It's the best way I can describe it. And I'm going to show you what the gematria is on this. It's crazy. Okay, and then we have, so S is 19, or in this case, it's hiding 1 plus 9. And then see these two fingers that are in front of this, I don't know what this is called. I should have looked it up, what this is called that he's holding to control the puppet, the marionette or whatever. Anyway, whatever this is, the two fingers are in front, which is either 11. I was thinking it possibly was 11, but no, it's 1 plus 1 is 2. So you have 219 or 2, which is hiding 210. And then over here, we have 2 behind this. I've known this for years, but I just didn't know what combination, what these dates were really showing. And I think I know what it is now, 100%. But we'll see. And then right here is a bloody 2 and a bloody 3. A 2, a bloody 2 right here, and a bloody 3 kind of stretched out, but this is blood from this heart right here. There's a heart right here, and then a 3. So we have the first days, 210 and 223, Julian and Gregorian. Now watch this. Down here is a 9. That's in blood. And again, these are in blood, the 2 and 3. Then we have this 9, and I made this, highlighted this, or amped up the light in this, the brightness in this and stuff, and made more contrast. See how this is 9? So this is 923. So the symbolic birth of the Antichrist and the false prophet. Wow. The symbolic birth of the Antichrist, well, and the false prophet too, but also the man-child up into heaven is 923. See, 9 in blood, 2-3 in blood is really 223 actually. So 923, the birth of the Antichrist and the man-child into heaven. Antichrist to earth and his false prophet, and the man-child up into heaven is 923, but it's really physically 223. Hopefully that makes sense. It's crazy. And again, 9 plus 1, 1 plus 9 is 10. So you got 210 and 223 right there. 210 and 223 right there. Shown right in front of your face. I'm trying to do my best to show you decode. And then this is a sacrifice in the United States. Okay, when you sacrifice, when these jackwagons sacrifice something, they use a knife, they purify an altar, and they make it white, pure, and they put blood on it. So you got white and red, and white and red in gematria equals 666. Or they place the sacrifice on the altar or the bull's eye. That's why when you go, if you see Target, the store Target, it's a bull's eye that's red and white. That's where they placed the sacrifice on the eye, the third eye of the bull of Moloch. And it was a little platform on his head. And they sacrificed children and other people and other things too, and blood run down and go into a certain place. And I'm gonna get into all that because it just makes it's upsetting me right now because I know too much about this crap. So they sacrifice, and then they'll cut the heart out, have it bleed, and then sometimes you've seen in movies and stuff because they show that they might eat the heart because it has energy and whatever they believe. It's spiritual bullcrap. Okay, so that's the heart. And so they're at the heart of the United States, the bleeding heart. That's a heart. That is a heart bleeding over the fingers. And bleeding heart is 14th of February on the Julian, which again is Valentine's Day, which is symbolized by the heart. The red heart, the bleeding heart. Why is a heart red? Well, you think a heart's really red? Not really. It's a bloody heart. By the way, that's why, in England and the UK they say, "Hey, this bloody guy, what the, bloody." They always say blood. There's so many people, even in Australia and all the different colonies of England and stuff, say, "That's bloody right," or whatever. You bloody this, bloody that, bloody. I mean, you pick a word, bloody, to describe things. That is sacrifice. That's how sick that is. People say bloody, bloody, bloody all the time. And that's people just tell me, oh, it's bloody this and bloody that and bloody this and bloody that. This because it's all about ritualistic sacrifice. Bloody, bloody, bloody. Why is that thing good that things are bloody? And no one cares. Okay, whatever. I think some people care. Anyway, moving on. And then gold S snake ring is the best way I can describe it, and then it just happens to be 223. But see how it would be this over here, and then 223 is over here. So again, these are timelines. Again, this is also showing the first day, but it's also showing a timeline of first and last and first. So what I mean by that is, check this out. If you go to the Julian and the Gregorian on these timelines, the first day on the Gregorian is 223. The last day on the Julian, so the first day is number 1, numero uno, 223. It fits perfectly. The last day, the 14th day, because these have a pre-day and a post-day, but numerically, the first day and the last day is the 14th day because it's a 14-day timeline because the apple rolls and bounces back and forth and splits on the 11th and 12th day. Then a flower grows from it, and that ends up being the 14th, going into the 15th day, the post day. And also the Revelation 12 sign, you go 923, you go backwards 14 days to when Jupiter actually exited Virgo, and that's the birth of the man-child, 14 days before the Revelation 12 sign. When Jupiter exited Virgo in 9-9, that's 14 days difference, and there's a 14-day thing here. And so a lot of people don't understand the 14-day thing, and people have questioned this for years for me, and I've shown it and I've explained it and everything, and it is a process of things, of minor rituals that go to mega rituals, and it's all a process of a crescendo birthing the Antichrist. Again, if you think of it as labor pains, you start here. You start there. Birth the Antichrist in the tribulation. Okay, that's how it goes. These things get worse and worse and worse. You have some things happen here. War starts. Blah, 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 some people get killed. Blah, 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 first attack day, zombies, aliens. Blah, 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 death of the presidents, and all this stuff going on. Nuke in Manhattan. Tsunamis, mega tsunamis. Nukes hitting, destroying the United States. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what it is. That's what the Lord Jesus has guided me to all these years, and I will be proven right. You'll see. All you people that have said the worst things to me, have threatened me, have said the worst things to me. Oh, you'll see. You'll see. Hopefully you feel a little crunchy after that because the Lord Jesus himself is speaking to me and showing me things. Yeah, he won't give you the full picture because he can't. He won't because you have to. It's all about faith and trust and in the little things he gives you and all that stuff. And you have to do your best to try to figure out what he's showing you regarding this kind of stuff. That's just the way it works. If you don't understand that, I'm sorry. Sorry you don't understand it. Go somewhere else if you really want to buck this. It's fine. Or you don't want to see it, fine. Go ahead. Whatever. I'm just the messenger for my Lord Jesus. That's it. And it's coming. It's coming. And I've been saying this about the Abraham Lincoln for years, for 7+ years. And there it is in the Middle East. I've been saying all kinds of things I've been saying for years, and they're happening, and they've already happened. And they're happening. Okay, I've been wrong about a lot of different things too, but I've been saying I'm guessing. I'm not prophesying it or anything. I'm not saying this is going to happen, thus saith the Lord, or anything like that. I'm always saying this is my best guess. This is what the Lord showed me. Here, you take this and see what you think. Whatever, whatever. That's it. And people fought me for that. They judged me so harshly for that because I'm warning people when this before the sword comes, and that's what I've been called to do. And that's what a watchman's supposed to do. Do you know the Bible at all? Do you care? So all you people that wanted to correct me and said harsh things to me, I'm over it. I'm over you and I'm over it. I just pray that the Lord forgives you because you're saying it against him. I'm his messenger. I'm the messenger of the king. So good luck with that. I mean, I'll pray. I pray for people that they wake up, and the people who have said the worst things to me, they move out of what they did, and the Lord forgives them because they need it badly. Obviously, okay. So war is 322 skull and bones. See how this is 223 the first day and the last day, and it's backwards 322 skull and bones. Is it any coincidence that the two presidents we know the most that were in Skull and Bones and Yale, and were 41st president George H.W. Bush and the 43rd president George W. Bush, and George W. Bush morphs into Obama, the 44th president, iPad Go right here. And this is the 43rd day of the year when the stuff first starts happening here, which is over here on the Gregorian, and the day with 322 days left over, Skull and Bones, 322. And then these start with 223 and 223, both timelines. This one starts with it and this one ends with it. And that's all coincidence? I think not. Boom. Again, back to this guy. Boom. See that? So this is a 2 and this is an S because a 2 is an S in mirrored. See, there's a mirror right here. Mirrored. And 2S is 2, and then S is 1 plus 9, or I mean, it's 19, but it's hiding 1 plus 9. Okay, and then you take 219 upside down and backwards, and you have 612, or the birth of the Antichrist on 216. The 216th day of the year was August 4th. Obama was born. Also, I had a dream, like I've shared several times, about 6 years ago. Jesus said to me, I saw him at the end of my bed. When I woke up from another dream to be in another dream. I woke up from a dream to be in another dream. And Jesus, there's a 216 in the air between us, big. And he went to the 6 and he said 216 and he flipped the 6 to a 9. And there it is. 219 is 216. But what's 216 backwards hiding? Now watch. Boom. 210 on the Julian, the first day, and the 6th of March on the Gregorian. And what's that? That's the rebirth of the Antichrist. This is the birth of the Antichrist. The first day and the first attack day are the birth, and then the death of the Antichrist on 3-1 and 3-2, and then we rebirth right here. So the birth, then we have death on the 7th, reported death on the 8th day. Oh, let me go over here. Death of the president and Trump. The death of the Antichrist, Barack Hussein Obama on 3-1, reported on 3-2, and then the rebirth of him on 3-5 and 3-6, and there it is, 3-6. Crazy. Oh, by the way, apologize if my nose is having issues. It's weird. A few days ago, we were at 65 degrees, and we have been steadily close to that for many days in the middle of winter. It is so weird, and things are growing now really early, which I just can't believe would be good. And then I was getting allergies, and I still have some residual of that. My nose kind of is getting plugged up and stuff like that. It's crazy, even though I'm taking natural stuff for it. Anyway, so especially when I start talking, it just starts to kind of change and get worse at times. So I apologize ahead of time if I'm snorting or something. Try and breathe and making noise like a trumpet or something. Anyway, okay, so back to this. That's what's hiding right here also. So we have this. And so we have a message right down here. So I'm going to put that above, and so you can see what's down here. What is down here is this. Watch. Okay, again, it's hiding. Not only is this S, this backwards S, or this 2 hiding. I mean, I think that's super clear. If you don't see that, I don't know. But I see it's super clear. Okay, so right here, what do we have? We have 2 in red, 2 in yellow, 3 in this really light bluish color, and then 2 purple. And that's a clear 2. Oh my God, that is a clear 2. Thank you, Lord Jesus. Oh my goodness, my Lord. Okay, that is a clear 2. And then the sun is an O. You see that? Or 0, 0. Okay. And then we have 2 right here. 2. And then we have a 6 because that thing that was 9, 1, and then 1 upside down and backwards is now 6 or 116 or 2 6. First day of the timeline, 2/23/2026, and the pre-day is tomorrow, 2/22/2026. Okay, that's crazy. And then this is all about iPad Go 2 by Heliofont. So iPad Go, sometimes if you put the by or some other transition, it works also, and it also works in some other way. But to make this point, I just do the 2 subjects. iPad Go 2 done by Heliofont. So the 2 subjects here is 201. By the way, 201 is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, the Antichrist false prophet who's going to come back to life, the Pope Francis. Anyway, I'm not getting into all that right now, but I just did. But okay, so watch this. This upside down and back. Well, let me color code this first. Upside down and backwards is watch 2, because that's a 2. 1 plus E. E is 5. 1 plus E is 6. And then look, oh, we have a 10. Bring that 10 down. And look, we have a 2 upside down and backwards, because 2 upside down and backwards is 2. And so backwards is 21026 hidden in iPad Go 2 Heliofont. When these two work together, upside down and backwards, in my ultimate code breaker, upside down and backwards is 210. Oh, what a shock. And then again, so that's 210 in the name. And then at the end of the video, well, let's do this first. We also have, these numbers are what you can reduce these numbers to. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 1 plus 2 is 6. We reduce these down to 6. So we have 3, 6. Not only do we have 210, 26 backwards, but we also have 3, 6. The birth of the Antichrist on the 11th and 12th day, 3, 5, and 3, 6. 3, 6. Okay, again, 210 on the Julian, and right here, add 13 days to get to the Gregorian. The first day is 2/23/2026. Now let me go back to this. So see this slide right here? When I did this, I put this right here. I put these circles around this. This was like this is one of the last slides I inserted into my whole presentation here, because I thought about this and decided, oh, I'm going to put this in here. And I already did stuff after this and everything. And I put this in, and I decided to, this was last night, decided to take a break. I'd been working on it all day, working feverishly, busting my bucket all day to put this together, try to get this out as soon as possible because I just had to. And then I put this down, okay, and I decided, okay, probably tomorrow, early in the morning, I'm gonna, if I get up in decent time, if I can sleep well and everything and all that, it's all dependent because my sleep. Anyway, I'm gonna get into that right now. So, and then I'm like, in the morning, I'll put this all together. But so I decided to watch a movie that I hadn't seen before that was recommended to me. Okay. And I wasn't recommended because there's a thing I watch on YouTube, and this guy reviews movies, and sometimes he'll pick out movies that a lot of people haven't seen probably, and all that. Oh, here's some movies you probably haven't seen. They're real good. And I saw that days ago, and then I just kind of wrote this down somewhere, or put it in my phone somewhere. A couple different movies, and I watch a couple different ones, and then I'll see, of course, stuff in them and all that. But you just watching a movie to just take a break, but then I know I'm also looking at the details always, all the time. And immediately I got socked with the stuff in this movie about this, and I never saw it before. It was made in 2016. Anyway, and I could not believe the timing. So I went from this exact slide and doing 3/6 and 3/6 right there. See that? 3rd of August. Wow, 3rd of August. Wow. Wow, not even close. March 6th. March 6th, okay? And then went right to this. I put this down and then went right to this movie. In fact, I was doing some dishes and things like that for the family, which I do pretty much every night, and watching this on my phone. And then Bam! I was blindsided. I could not believe this. So here's Adam Driver in his character in this movie, and I this is my notes on this. And what does he actually say? And I keep in mind, I just put this down. I could not. I was kind of in shock a little bit. I mean, the Lord's done stuff like this to me, but this one, I don't know. It was just so unique for me, especially at this point. So here, I just put this thing down again. Just put this down. Watch this movie for a little while, and then this guy, this character, played by Adam Driver, says this. He says, "And Friday, March 6th. Why is this date important?" Friday, March 6th. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, is this March 6th Friday? Yeah. Okay, and then what happens after that? And there it is, March 6th. See? March 6th. And he said, and Friday, March 6th. Why is this day important? And what does the other guy say that he's interviewing? Because they're trying to find this kid, and he's in this cult, and they worship him, kind of thing. But then they're trying to, his real father and his mother took him away because they're trying to protect him, and the government's trying to grab him and everything like that. And so this guy says, what did he say about March 6th? He says, it's the day of our judgment. But before that, watch this. I'm sorry, I missed this. This is really cool. And Friday, March 6th. Why is this day important? March 6th. March 6th. March 6th. I got goosebumps right now. Friday, March 6th is this Friday, March 6th. And this whole thing equals March 6th, March 6th, March 6th. And that's a coincidence? And this is a coincidence? I am not kidding you. God is my witness that I put this down, and then boom, watch this movie, and then it said this. Man, I got massive goosebumps right now. Man, wow. And then this guy says, it's the day of our judgment. So that day, 3-6, 3-5 and 3-6, I've said forever, is the 11th and 12th day. And that's the tsunamis. That's the mega tsunamis. And then what does it say about Mystery Babylon? It says that you will be covered by tumultuous waves in Jeremiah. It says Mystery Babylon will be covered by tumultuous waves. And that's the mega tsunamis. It's in the Bible, people. If you don't know that, I mean, you need to know that. Hopefully you know that by now. And then what's in 1884? There's so much right there, even in the year. But 1 plus 8 is 9. 8 plus 4 is 12. And it's also 9, and then August 4th, because 9 you can take away, and then August 4th, birth of Antichrist, Obama, August 4th, which is his actual birth as the Antichrist. 1 plus 9 is 10. 210, or 2-9 plus 1. 2-9 plus 1 is 210. There it is. Now, what's in this number? Oh, I showed you this earlier. Remember August 4th here is, and 68 is Barack Obama equals 68, or 1 from 68 is 67. So what's that? 168. Take away the 0 in this case. So rule of calamity, take 1 away and you have 68th day of the year, or 1 from 68 and you have 67. Well, what's that? Oh, look. The 67th day of the year and the 68th day of the year is the last 2 days of the timeline when the United States is completely destroyed. The first day of the timeline on the Julian, and it covers the whole thing to the last day of the timeline on the Gregorian. Boom, bookends here for both timelines. First day, last day, both calendars, and that's it's the day of our judgment. This is our judgment. Well, not my judgment, but the world judgment. I mean, I'll be judged when the Lord takes me up into heaven, but it'll be all good things. It'll be no bad things, thank God. Anyway, so moving on here. This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Okay, let me go back to Iran for a second, and then I'm going to go through this. Okay, because this is what I showed you with Iran in each letter, but what if you take Iran and the total? So again, in English ordinal, 9 plus 8 plus 1 plus 4 is 42, and then 18 plus 9 plus 26 plus 13 is 66. Now let's take these. Watch this. This is crazy too. Oh my goodness, I cannot believe this. Because look at all the stuff I did with this, with the different dates and everything. Now 66, upside down and backwards, is 99. By the way, There's so much. I forget. I won't get into all that. There's so much. Upside down backwards is 99. Well, what's 99 hiding? 99. There's so much about 99. That's when the Antichrist and false prophets met. The day with 99 days left over, which is 923, which is 2 9s. And if you take 2 9, which is February 9th, or 2 9s, upside down and backwards, you have 6 2, or 26 backwards. So you have February 9th, 26. Kind of it's upside down and backwards mirrored. February 9th, 26, the pre-day on the Julian. Now let's mess with this one. This one, 42, okay, backwards is 2 4, or 222, and then 42 upside down and backwards is 24. Wow, 24. 26. Yeah. 24 upside down and backwards is 20, and then 4 is upside down and backwards, hiding 6. So we have, with this just backwards, and then 4 is hiding 2 plus 2, just like 99 is hiding two 9s. And then this upside down and backwards is 2 6s. So we literally have the pre-day on the the Gregorian, and the pre-day on the Julian hidden in Iran this way as well. Bam! 2 9 and 222 right there. 2 9, 2 9, 26, and 222, 26. Bam. Okay. And then we're almost done here. So again, I've said this in a couple of videos ago. This was my thumbnail, but I thought it might be, okay, because the eclipse, by the way, the eclipse was in Hawaii on 2/16, which is where the Antichrist is from. So you literally have 2/16 being the numerology of his death on the Julian calendar, and that's why Abraham Lincoln is 72, or 1 plus 6 and then 2, because the death of Abraham Lincoln is going to coincide on the 16th of February on the Julian calendar with the death of Stinky B.O., the 44th Prez, in Hawaii on the same day. And then you add 13 days of that, and you have 229, or, on a leap year, but it would be March 1st on this year. Okay, and then, boom, the Gerald Ford dead today. So USS Gerald Ford attacked on 3/1, which is, again, 216. So look at this. This number is hiding 216, and then this number, 78, is upside down and backwards 8L, and 8 and L is 12, and then 8 plus 1 is 9, and 2, so 9th of February on the Julian calendar, and then that's when we're going to attack Iran. Okay, and then this is when Iran's going to retaliate with attacking them, and also a nuke is going to go off in Manhattans and kill Trumple, and Iran's going to take responsibility. People have no idea. People think the military might of the United States is going to be so massive and going to squash Iran and all that. No, because you know why? Even no matter what, because the elite control all this narrative, and the arrogant United States is going to get pounded and eventually very quickly destroyed, because it's in the Bible. We are Mystery Babylon. Sorry, if you don't know that, you need to wake up to that fact, and you will have to, if you don't wake up now, you'll wake up when this stuff starts happening. Hopefully you will. But that's what it is. And all the elite are going to do is just open up the doors. They're going to just let us be hit with the people in power, the captain on these ships. They're going to allow them to be hit. They're going to do something or whatever to just open the doors. Okay, if you have an enemy and you have walls and you're fighting them, how do you let the enemy win? You just open up your gates and let them win. Without people knowing, and just do it secretly. Let's just open up the gates. Don't fire when you should have fired. Let them fire at you, and make it look like you did, but you didn't. And then a combination of looking like they have superior firepower, like a lot of people are saying that Iran has massive amount of missiles and things that people don't know about, and some other things, and just overwhelming. Like the example of that was when they attacked Israel a few months ago during the 12-day war. And a lot of them got through the Iron Dome and David Sling and all that kind of stuff, and went through and hit spots and that was predictive programming that they are going to have effectiveness. Hello, McFly. Hello, McFly. Okay, it's all there in the programming, and I'm doing my best to read it. So again, Gerald Ford dead today. And then they said, SNL said August, it said 84, like I said, August 4th. which is August 4th, is 8-4, or 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 is made up of 2 and 10. And this is going to happen, we're going to get into this on the 9th of February and the 10th of February, 10-2. Hopefully that makes sense. And then ultimately it's going to culminate in eventually the Abraham Lincoln and the Gerald R. Ford attacked on 3-1. You'll see. So anyway, so I just want to thank you. I'll leave it at that. Orange Man wants to thank you. I couldn't resist. Orange Man, I want to thank you. I want to thank you for everyone who's ever watched my videos and give positive comments, and also prayers. We cover your prayers. Me, my wife, and my 4 kids. We cover your prayers, and we also cover any kind of donations you can give, because we always need it. We're always on the edge. Actually, more than the edge, we're behind. So, and I'm not going to get into that all that again. I try to be somewhat transparent as I can, and I have been, but I'm just like, man, we are behind, like crazy. But whatever. Hopefully, we're almost here. I think we are, but we'll see. Who knows? Only God knows. I do my best to try to guess what the Lord Jesus shows me and all that. So if you're able to give, however, though, in the description box below is links to PayPal. You can even do things through Venmo and a card and different things like that. And then there's also, you can sign up for ZellePay, do a bank-to-bank transfer, which is free completely and all that. So anyway, all this stuff is in the description box below the title of the video here. If you're able to give, which we could always use it so badly. I mean, we need to eat. We need to, pay for gas that's going up. Anyway, so thank you so much. I just, I thank everyone who's ever given and prayed for us and just support us with positiveness in any way. And I'm hoping that this video finally gets above 3,000. My last video just is not quite breaking 3,000. I have almost 3,200,000 subscribers. And I'm not even getting 10% of that. I mean, a couple of videos ago, I got a little more than 10% or 15%. That doesn't make any sense. I'm getting massively shadow banned for a long time because I'm right over the target here. I mean, years ago, I would get 50, 80, 100,000 views, 90,000 views. One of my biggest was 140,000 views. Now, I'm lucky to get 10%, if that, of my total subscribers, which makes no sense. And I've had several people say, oh, I can't even find your videos. I can't even, and even you're in the list of my people I'm subscribed to, and you're at the bottom, and your icon's gone, and I mean, all kinds of stuff I get. YouTube has turned, I've had hundreds of people tell me that YouTube turned the notifications off of my videos, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it just goes and goes, because I'm effective, and they've literally, over the years, taken 21 of my videos down, and one of them connects this guy massively to the Steen app guy, the Steen app, and all that, and and the Max of the Well and all that stuff, and her and everything, all that, even video and everything, and those were all taken down, and stuff about the hokey pokey and all kinds of important stuff. They took down 21 of my videos. And they haven't put it back up. No, they haven't said nothing. No, nothing. And they won't give me any reason except for it violates, community guidelines and all this other stuff. So whatever. I'm gonna leave it at that. We're gonna move on, and hopefully this starts happening in a couple days. And I'm excited. So thank you so much. God bless you. This is Exalted Lamb. Wow, this is Exalted Lamb 1, over and out.